In this video, I will be introducing Colab and some basic operations and output in Python. Colab is Jupyter Notebooks hosted by Google, and this is an easy way to execute Python code without having to download or configure anything on your computer, and it uses GPUs outside of your own computer as well. The Colab notebook saves to Google Drive, just as any other Google documents do. And you can also share the notebook in the same way that you share other Google documents. And you can download the notebook as the .ipynb file, as well as convert it to other files like in Adobe PDF. In Colab, you have code cells and text cells. The text cells are a way of writing formatted text in Markdown and LaTeX. I will be covering that in the next video. The code cells use Python. The first thing I am going to do is make a comment. So a comment is signified by the pound sign, and this is a note to yourself or to any other users that is not read by the computer. So if you're brand new to any type of coding, basically what coding is giving commands to the computer to execute. So anything after the pound sign will be ignored by the computer. You can perform basic mathematical operations such as addition using the plus sign, subtraction using the minus sign. Multiplication must be done with an asterisk, and division must be done with a forward slash. Oops. So then to execute these, you press this play button here. And the only thing it's output from this is the last line of 8 divided by 8. I will talk more about the output in a bit. One thing that may be different in Python compared to some other languages is exponents. To write an exponent, you use a double asterisk. So this would be 8 to the power of 8. As with anything else, you'll want to be sure to use order of operations. So be sure to use any parentheses when appropriate. And so you can have simple outputs like this, but most often you'll be wanting to perform more complex operations. The first thing you want to learn to perform more complex operations is the use of variables. So with a variable, you're essentially naming a number or an operation using an equal sign. So for example, here, I could say A is 8 times 8. And it's convention, but not required, to have a space here between the variable and the equal sign. So if I were to do this, you then don't have any output. So to have an output for a variable, you need to use a print statement. and it will then print like that. If you wanted to print, say, a more complex number, if you wanted to print, say, with significant figures and with units, one way to do this is to use what's called a string modulo operator. And this is done with the %. You can add flags to this. You can specify a width, which is essentially the minimum number of characters. You can specify a precision, which exactly what the precision is varies depending on the type. For today, we will be using the type E for scientific notation. And the precision in this case will be the number of spaces that is displayed after the decimal point. So how this looks in a print statement is you have your print and parentheses, and then you want to put some quotation marks, the %. For today, we're just going to be worrying about the precision and the type. So I'll first just show how it looks if you only say the type, in this case, E. So you then have to tell it what you're referring to with another % outside of the quotation marks. So I'll print the variable A that I defined up here. So it's converted 8 to the power of 8 into exponential form. So if I wanted to display a certain number of figures, say for example, I wanted 3 significant figures, I then would need to specify a precision before the type. And there you have it, 3 significant figures. If you wanted to also include units, you could do the same thing. And then your units would go inside the quotation marks. And it will print whatever is inside, whatever is written there. So I will link a helpful resource that goes over this syntax and all of the different types you can use, as well as what the flags are. And in the next video, I will be talking about text cells.